Full history. President Donald Trump. Donald John Trump, born June 14, 1946, is an American businessman, television personality, politician, and the 45th President of the United States. He was born in Jamaica, Queens, New York City, where he lived until enrolling at age 13 in the New York Military Academy. Trump earned an economics degree from the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania in 1968. In 1971, he took charge of his family's real estate and construction firm, Elizabeth Trump & Son, which was later renamed the Trump Organization. During his business career, Trump built, renovated, and managed numerous office towers, hotels, casinos, and golf courses. He has lent a believed his suggestion of $9 billion was a whopper, figuring it was actually $4.10 billion. 71. The summary statement includes $3.3 billion worth of real estate licensing deals, brand, and branded developments, putting the figure on Trump's estimate of his own brand value. 72. The July 2015 FEC disclosure reports assets worth above $1.4 billion and debts above $265 million. According to Bloomberg, Trump only reported revenue for his golf properties in his campaign filings, even though the disclosure form asks for income, whereas independent filings showed his European golf properties to be unprofitable. 73. Trump has stated that his income for the year 2014 was $362 million. 74. After Trump made controversial remarks about illegal immigrants in 2015, he lost business contracts with NBC Universal, Univision, Macy's, Serta, PVH Corporation, and Perfumania, which Forbes estimated negatively impacted his net worth by $125 million. 75. The value of the Trump brand may have fallen further. In their 2016 annual billionaires rankings, Forbes estimated Trump's net worth at $4.5 billion, 113th in the United States, 324th in the world, one in Bloomberg at $3 billion. 73. Making him one of the richest politicians in American history. Trump himself stated that his net worth was over $10 billion. 74. With the discrepancy essentially stemming from the uncertain value of appraised property and of his personal brand. 73. 80. Real estate career. Prior to graduating from the University of Pennsylvania, Trump began his real estate career at his father's company 81 Elizabeth Trump & Son 82, which focused on middle-class rental housing in the New York City boroughs of Brooklyn, Queens, and Staten Island. During his undergraduate study, Donald Trump and his father, Fred Trump, used a $500,000 investment to successfully reopen the foreclosed Swifton Village apartment complex in Cincinnati, Ohio. 83. After being promoted to president of the company in the early 1970s, while his father stated, an agreement was later signed in which the Trumps made no admission of wrongdoing, and under which qualified minority applicants would be presented by the Urban League. 86-87. Early Manhattan developments. Trump's first major real estate deal in Manhattan was the remodeling of the Grand Hyatt Hotel in 1978, located next to Grand Central Terminal. The building was remodeled from an older Commodore Hotel, and was largely funded by a $70 million construction loan jointly guaranteed by Fred Trump and the Hyatt Hotel chain. 88-89. In 1978, Trump finished negotiations to develop Trump Tower, a 58-story, 202-meter, 663-foot, skyscraper in Midtown Manhattan, for which the New York Times attributed his persistence and skills as a negotiator. 90. The building was completed in 1983, and houses both the primary penthouse condominium residence of Donald Trump and the headquarters of the Trump Organization. 91-92. Trump Tower was the setting of the NBC television show The Apprentice. Schedule. The repairs were not completed by 1986. Trump took over the project, completed it in 3 months for $750,000 less than the initial budget of $1.95 million, and operated the rink for 1 year with all profits going to charity in exchange for the rink's concession rights. 94. Trump acquired the Plaza Hotel in Manhattan in 1988 for $400 million, and asked his then-wife Ivana to manage its operation and renovation. 95. Palm Beach Estate. Main article, Mar-a-Lago. Trump acquired the historic Mar-a-Lago estate in Palm Beach, Florida, in 1985 for $5 million, plus $3 million for the home's furnishings. It was built from 1924 to 1927 by heiress and socialite Marjorie Merriweather Post, who envisioned the house as a future winter retreat for American presidents. In addition to using the home for this purpose, Trump also turned it into a private club with membership fees of $150,000. At about the same time, he acquired a condominium complex in Palm Beach with Lee Iacocca that became true. Harris at Trump Plaza opened in Atlantic City, New Jersey in 1984. The hotel/casino was built by Trump with financing by Holiday Corp. 97 and operated by the Harris Gambling Unit of Holiday Corp. The casino's poor results exacerbated disagreements between Trump and Holiday Corp. 98. Trump also acquired a partially completed building in Atlantic City from the Hilton Corporation for $320 million. When completed in 1985, the hotel/casino became Trump Castle. Trump's wife, Ivana, managed the property 99. Later in 1988, Trump acquired the Taj Mahal Casino in Atlantic City in a transaction with Merv Griffin and Resorts International 100. The casino was opened in April 1990, and was built at a total cost of $1.1 billion, which at the time made it the most expensive casino ever built. 102 financed with $675 million in junk bonds. 103 at a 14% interest rate. The project entered Chapter 11 bankruptcy the following year. 104 banks and bondholders, facing potential losses of hundreds. The Taj Mahal emerged from bankruptcy on October 5, 1991, with Trump ceding 50% ownership in the casino to the bondholders in exchange for lowered interest rates and more time to pay off the debt. 105 He also sold his financially challenged Trump Shuttle airline and his 282-foot, 86-egg, mega yacht, the Trump Princess. 103 106 107 The property was repurchased in 1996 and consolidated into Trump Hotels and Casino Resorts, which filed for bankruptcy in 2004 with $1.8 billion in debt, filing again for bankruptcy 5 years later with $50 million in assets and $500 million in debt. The restructuring ultimately left Trump with 10% ownership in the Trump Taj Mahal and other Trump casino properties. 107 Trump served as chairman of the organization, which was renamed Trump Entertainment Resorts, from mid-1995 until early 2009, and served as CEO from mid-2000 to mid-2005. 108 In 2011, after Chris Christie became governor, Trump Casinos settled a long-running $30 million tax dispute for one. Bankruptcies, taxes, and other legal affairs. Main article: Legal affairs of Donald Trump. Trump has never filed for personal bankruptcy, but his hotel and casino businesses have been declared bankrupt 6 times between 1991 and 2009 in order to renegotiate debt with banks and owners of stock and bonds. 115 Because the businesses used Chapter 11 bankruptcy, they were allowed to operate while negotiations proceeded. Trump was quoted by Newsweek in 2011 saying, "I do play with the bankruptcy laws. They're very good for me as a tool for trimming debt." 117 The 6 bankruptcies were the result of over-leveraged hotel and casino businesses in Atlantic City and New York. Trump Taj Mahal, 1991. Trump Plaza Hotel and Casino, 1992. Plaza Hotel, 1992. Trump Castle Hotel and Casino, 1992. Trump Hotels and Casino Resorts, 2004, and Trump Entertainment Resorts, 2009. 118 119 120 Trump said, "I've used the laws of this country to pare debt. We'll have the company. We'll throw." A 2016 analysis of Trump's business career by The Economist concluded that his performance from 1985 to 2016 has been mediocre compared with the stock market and property in New York, noting both his successes and bankruptcies. 121 A subsequent analysis by The Washington Post concluded that Trump is a mix of braggadocio, business failures, and real success. 122 Trump claimed a loss of $916 million on his 1995 tax returns, as net operating losses from one year can be applied to offset income from future years. This loss allowed him to reduce or eliminate his taxable income during the 18-year carry-forward period. 123 Trump acknowledged using the deduction but declined to provide details such as the specific years it was applied. 124 When questioned during a presidential debate about such practices, he stated that avoiding paying income tax through such methods makes me smart. 125 The New York Times found that some accountants considered Trump's tax deduction methods. More buildings in New York and worldwide. Trump acquired a vacant 70-story skyscraper on Wall Street in 1996, The former Bank of Manhattan Trust building, which had briefly been the tallest in the world when completed in 1930. After an extensive renovation, it was renamed the Trump Building at 40 Wall Street 130 after his father died in 1999. Trump and his siblings received equal portions not in citation given of his father's estate valued at $250, $300,131. In 2001, Trump completed Trump World Tower, a 72-story residential tower across from the United Nations headquarters 132. Trump also began construction on Trump Place, a multi-building development along the Hudson River. He continued to own commercial space in Trump International Hotel and Tower, a 44-story mixed-use hotel and condominium tower on Columbus Circle, which he acquired in 1996 133, and also continued to own millions of square feet of other prime Manhattan real estate 134. Trump acquired the former haute ties to Russia. Main article: Business projects of Donald Trump in Russia. Trump has pursued business deals in Russia since 1987, although his real estate projects there never materialized. In 1996, Trump filed trademark applications for potential Russian real estate development deals 136-137 along with his partners and children. Trump visited Moscow several times, connecting with developers and government officials to explore joint venture opportunities 138, 139, 140, 141. However, some of his real estate developments outside Russia have received a large part of their financing from private Russian investors, sometimes referred to as oligarchs. In 2008, his son Donald Trump Jr. said Russians make up a pretty disproportionate cross-section of a lot of our assets and we see a lot of money pouring in from Russia. 142, 143, 144. Trump hosted the 2013 Miss Universe pageant in Moscow, in partnership with Russian billionaire Arasy Galarev, but, as of 2017, he has no known investments. Use of his name in the branding of various products. He owned the Miss USA and Miss Universe pageants from 1996 to 2015, and he hosted The Apprentice, a reality television series on NBC, from 2004 to 2015. As of 2016, Forbes listed him as the 324th wealthiest person in the world, and 113th in the United States, with a net worth of $4.5 billion. Trump sought the Reform Party's 2000 presidential nomination, but withdrew before voting began. He considered running as a Republican for the 2012 election, but decided against it. In June 2015, he announced his candidacy for the 2016 election, and quickly emerged as the front-runner among 17 candidates in the Republican primaries. His final opponents suspended their campaigns in May 2016, and in July he was formally nominated at the Republican National Convention along with Indiana Governor Mike Pence as his running mate. His campaign received unprecedented media coverage and international attention. Many of his statements and interviews, on SOC. In 2006, Trump bought the Meany estate in Balmeedy, Aberdeenshire, Scotland, and created a golf resort against the wishes of some local residents. 148 on an area designated as a site of special scientific interest. 149. 158. 2011 independent documentary, You've Been Trumped, by British filmmaker Anthony S. Baxter, chronicled the golf resort's construction and the subsequent NIMBYism struggles between the locals and Trump. 151. Despite Trump's promises of 6,000 jobs, he stated in 2016 that the golf course has created only 200 jobs. 152. In June 2015, Trump made an appeal objecting to an offshore wind farm being built within sight of the golf course. 153, which was dismissed by 5 justices at the UK Supreme Court in December 2015. 154. In April 2014, Trump purchased the Turnberry Hotel and Golf Resort in Ayrshire, Scotland, which hosted the Open Championship 4 times between 1977 and 2009. 155. 156. After extensive renovations and a remodeling of the course by golf architect Martin Eber. In 1971, Trump took charge of the family real estate firm, Elizabeth Trump & Son, and later renamed it the Trump Organization. 158. 159. He greatly expanded its real estate operations and also ventured into numerous other business activities. The company eventually became the umbrella organization for several hundred individual business ventures and partnerships. 160. When Trump was elected president in November 2016, The question arose how he would avoid conflicts of interest with his work in the White House and his business activities. At a press conference on January 10, 2017, Trump said he and his daughter Ivanka would resign all roles with the Trump Organization, while his two oldest sons Don Jr. and Eric would run the business, together with Chief Financial Officer Alan Weisselberg 161. Trump retains his financial stake in the business 162. His attorney Sherry Dillon said that before the January 20 inauguration, Trump would put those business assets into a trust, which would h. Ties to Russia. Main article, Business Projects of Donald Trump in Russia. Trump has pursued business deals in Russia since 1987, although his real estate projects there never materialized. In 1996, Trump filed trademark applications for potential Russian real estate development deals 136-137 along with his partners and children. Trump visited Moscow several times, connecting with developers and government officials to explore joint venture opportunities 138, 139, 140, 141. However, some of his real estate developments outside Russia have received a large part of their financing from private Russian investors, sometimes referred to as oligarchs. In 2008, his son Donald Trump Jr. said Russians make up a pretty disproportionate cross-section of a lot of our assets and we see a lot of money pouring in from Russia. 142, 143, 144. Trump hosted the 2013 Miss Universe pageant in Moscow, in partnership with Russian billionaire Arasay Galarev. But, as of 2017, he has no known investments. In 2006, Trump bought the Meany estate in Balmeedy, Aberdeenshire, Scotland, and created a golf resort against the wishes of some local residents. 148 on an area designated as a site of special scientific interest. 149, 158. 2011 independent documentary, You've Been Trumped, by British filmmaker Anthony S. Baxter, chronicled the golf resort's construction and the subsequent NIMBYism struggles between the locals and Trump. 151. Despite Trump's promises of 6,000 jobs, he stated in 2016 that the golf course has created only 200 jobs. 152. In June 2015, Trump made an appeal objecting to an offshore wind farm being built within sight of the golf course. 153, which was dismissed by 5 justices at the UK Supreme Court in December 2015. 154. In April 2014, Trump purchased the Turnberry Hotel and Golf Resort in Ayrshire, Scotland, which hosted the Open Championship 4 times between 1977 and 2009. 155, 156. After extensive renovations and a remodeling of the course by golf architect Martin Eber, Trump retains his financial stake in the business. 162. His attorney Sherry Dillon said that before the January 20 inauguration, Trump would put those business assets into a trust, which would hire an ethics advisor and a compliance counsel. She added that the Trump Organization would not pursue any new foreign business deals, while continuing to pursue domestic opportunities. 163. Sports events. In September 1983, Trump purchased the New Jersey Generals, an American football team playing in the United States Football League, USFL, from oil magnate J. Walter Duncan. The USFL played its first 3 seasons during the spring and summer, but Trump convinced the majority of the owners of other USFL teams to move the USFL 1986 schedule to the fall directly opposite the National Football League, NFL, arguing that it would eventually force a merger with the NFL, which would supposedly increase their investment significantly. 164. After the 1985 season, the Generals merged with the Houston GA. Trump submitted a stalking horse bid on the Buffalo Bills when it came up for sale following Ralph Wilson's death in 2014. He was ultimately outbid, as he expected, and Kim and Terrence Pegula won the auction. 170. During his 2016 presidential run, he was critical of the NFL's updated concussion rules, complaining on the campaign trail that the game has been made soft and weak, saying a concussion is just a ding on the head. He accused referees of throwing penalty flags needlessly just to be seen on television so their wives see them at home. 171. Beauty pageants. Further information, Miss USA, Miss Universe, and Miss Teen USA. From 1996 until 2015, 172 Trump owned part or all of the Miss Universe, Miss USA, and Miss Teen USA beauty pageants. The Miss Universe pageant was founded in 1952 by the California clothing company Pacific Mills. 173 Trump was dissatisfied with how CBS scheduled his pageants, and took both Miss Universe and Miss USA to NBC in 2002 174-175. In 2015, NBC. On September 11, 2015, Trump announced that he had become the sole owner of the Miss Universe organization by purchasing NBC's stake 181-182. He sold his own interests in the pageant shortly afterwards to WME/IMG 172. Model management. Main article, Trump Model Management. In 1999, Trump founded a modeling company, Trump Model Management, which operates in the Soho neighborhood of Lower Manhattan 183 together with another Trump company, Trump Management Group LLC. Trump Model Management has brought nearly 250 foreign fashion models into the United States to work in the fashion industry since 2184. In 2014, the company, along with its president Corinne Nicholas and other managers, were sued by one of the agency's former models, Alexia Palmer, alleging racketeering, breach of contract, mail fraud, and violating immigrant wage laws. 185. Palmer alleged that Trump Model Management promised to withhold only 20% of her net pay as agency expenses, but after charging her for obscure acts. Trump University LLC was an American for-profit education company that ran a real estate training program from 2005 until at least 2010. 188. After multiple lawsuits, it is now defunct. It was founded by Trump and his associates, Michael Sexton and Jonathan Spitalny, and offered courses, charging between $1,500 and $35,000 per course. 189. In 2005, the operation was notified by New York state authorities that its use of the word university violated state law, and after a second such notification in 2010, the name of the company was changed to the Trump Entrepreneurial Institute. 191. Trump was also found personally liable for failing to obtain a business license for the operation. 192. In 2013, the state of New York filed a $40 million civil suit claiming that Trump University made false claims and defrauded consumers. 191. 193. In addition, 2 class action civil lawsuits were filed in federal court relating to Trump University. They named Trump personally as well as his company. Repeatedly criticized Judge Gonzalo P. Curiel, who oversaw those 2 cases, alleging bias because of his Mexican heritage. 195. 196. 197. On June 7, 2016, Trump clarified that his concerns about Curiel's impartiality were not based upon ethnicity alone, but also upon rulings in the case. 198. 199. The Lowe v. Trump case was set for trial in San Diego beginning November 28, 2016. 200. Shortly after Trump won the presidency, the parties agreed to a settlement of all 3 pending cases. In the settlement, Trump did not admit to any wrongdoing but agreed to pay a total of $25,201,202. The settlement was agreed to just an hour before a hearing regarding Trump's latest request to delay the trial until after the inauguration. Jason Forge, the attorney for the plaintiffs, said he definitely detected a change of tone and change of approach from the Trump representatives after the election. 203. The settlement was called into question on March 6, 2017, when Sherry Simpson, a Florida B. Allegations. 204. Judge Curiel will determine if there was a due process violation. Branding and licensing. Main article, list of things named after Donald Trump. Trump has marketed his name on a large number of building projects that are owned and operated by other people and companies, as well as licensing his name for various commercial products and services. In doing so, he achieved mixed success for himself, his partners, and investors in the projects. 205. In 2011, Forbes financial experts estimated the value of the Trump brand at $200 million. Trump disputed this valuation, saying his brand was worth about $3.206 billion. Because developers pay Trump to market their properties and to be the public face for their projects, some buildings that display his name are not owned nor operated by him. 207. According to Forbes, this portion of Trump's empire, actually run by his children, is by far his most valuable, having a $562 million valuation, with 33 licensing projects underway. Trump won the general election on November 8, 2016, in a surprise victory against Democratic opponent Hillary Clinton. He became the oldest and wealthiest person to assume the presidency, the first without prior military or government service, and the fifth elected with less than a plurality of the national popular vote. Trump's platform emphasizes renegotiating U.S. China relations and free trade agreements such as NAFTA and the Trans-Pacific Partnership, strongly enforcing immigration laws, and building a new wall along the U.S. Mexico border. His other positions include pursuing energy independence while opposing climate change regulations such as the Clean Power Plan and the Paris Agreement, modernizing and expediting services for veterans, repealing and replacing the Affordable Care Act, abolishing Common Core education standards, investing in infrastructure, simplifying the tax code while reducing taxes for all economic classes, and imposing tariffs on imports by companies offshore. Trump also licensed his name to son-in-law Jared Kushner's 50-story Trump Bay Street, a Jersey City luxury development that has raised $50 million of its $200 million capitalization largely from wealthy Chinese nationals who, after making an initial down payment of $500,000 in concert with the government's expedited EB-5 visa program, can usually obtain United States permanent residency for themselves and their families after 2 years. 210 Trump is a partner with Kushner Properties only in name licensing and not in the building's financing. 210. Foundation. Main article, Donald J. Trump Foundation. The Donald J. Trump Foundation is a U.S.-based private foundation 211 established in 1988 for the initial purpose of giving away proceeds from the book Trump, The Art of the Deal by Trump and Tony Schwartz. 212-213 The foundation's funds have mostly come from donors other than Trump. 214 Who has not given personally to the charity since 2008. 214 The foundation's tax returns show DHA Muslim-majority countries to preempt domestic Islamic terrorism, and aggressive military action against ISIS. His positions have been described by scholars and commentators as populist, protectionist, and nationalist. Early life. Further information, Trump family. Trump was born on June 14, 1946 at the Jamaica Hospital Medical Center in the Jamaica neighborhood of Queens, New York City. He was the fourth of 5 children born to Frederick Christ Fred Trump, 1905, 1999, and Mary Ann Trump, née McLeod, 1912, 2000. 23 His siblings are Mary Ann, Fred Jr., Elizabeth, and Robert. Trump's older brother Fred Jr. died in 1981 from alcoholism, which Trump says led him to abstain from alcohol and cigarettes. For ancestry. Trump is of paternal German ancestry and maternal Scottish ancestry. His mother and grandparents were born in Europe. His paternal grandfather, Friedrich Trump, originally emigrated to the United States in 1885, became a citizen in 1892, and amassed a fortune operating boomtown restaurants and boarding houses in the Seattle area and Klondike, Canada. 5 After marrying in 1902, the family moved back to Karlstad but were ordered to leave because Friedrich did not complete the mandatory military service and did not register his initial emigration to the United States. 6 His father was born in the Bronx, and became a New York City real estate developer. 7 His mother emigrated from her birthplace of Tong, Lewis, Scotland to New York, where she worked as a maid. 9 Fred and Mary met in New York and married in 1936, raising their family in Queens. 9-10 His uncle John G. Trump, a professor at MIT from 1936 to 1973, was involved in radar research for the Allies in the Second World War, and helped design X-ray machines that prolonged the lives of cancer patients. In January 1943, physicist Nikola Tesla d. The Trump family were originally Lutherans, but Trump's parents belonged to the Reformed Church in America. 12 The family name, which was formerly spelled Trump, was changed to Trump during the 30 Years' War in the 17th century. 13 Trump has said that he is proud of his German heritage. He served as Grand Marshal of the 1999 German-American Steuben Parade in New York City. 14 Education. Trump attended the Kew Forest School. At 13, he enrolled in the New York Military Academy, NEMA, 17 in Cornwall, New York, where he finished 8th grade and high school. Trump attended Fordham University in the Bronx for 2 years, beginning in August 1964. He then transferred to the Wharton School of the University of Pennsylvania in Philadelphia, which offered one of the few real estate studies departments in United States academia at the time. 1819 While there, he worked at the family's company, Elizabeth Trump and Son, named for his paternal grandmother. 20 He graduated from Penn and Way. Trump was not drafted during the Vietnam War. 23 While in college from 1964 to 1968, he obtained 4 student deferments. 24 In 1966, He was deemed fit for service based upon a military medical examination, and in 1968 was briefly classified as fit by a local draft board, but was given a 1-year medical deferment in October 1968. 25 He attributed his medical deferment to heel spurs. 26 In 1969, he received a high number in the draft lottery, which would also have likely exempted him from service. 25 27 28 Family. Trump has 5 children by 3 marriages, and has 8 grandchildren. 29 30 His first 2 marriages ended in widely publicized divorces. 31 Trump married his first wife, Czech model Ivana Zelníková, on April 7, 1977 at the Marble Collegiate Church in Manhattan in a ceremony performed by the Reverend Norman Vincent Peale. 32-33 They had 3 children, son Donald Jr., born December 31, 1977, daughter Ivanka, born October 30, 1981, and son Eric, born January 6, 1984. Trump's Mar-a-Lago estate. 40-41-42 In 2006, Melania became a naturalized United States citizen. 43 She gave birth to their son Baron on March 20, 2006. 44-45 Baron is fluent in Slovene and English. 46 Religious views. Trump identifies as Presbyterian. 47 As a child, he began going to church at the First Presbyterian Church in Jamaica, Queens. 48 He attended Sunday school and had his confirmation at that church. 48 Trump said in 2015 that he attends Reformed Marble Collegiate Church in Manhattan, where he married his first wife Ivana in 1977, and the church says he is not an active member. 48 He is also loosely affiliated with Lakeside Presbyterian Church in West Palm Beach, Florida, near his Mar-a-Lago estate. 49 In December 2016, Trump visited Bethesda by the Sea, an Episcopal church, for Christmas services. 50 Trump has said that he participates in Holy Communion. Beyond that, he has not asked God for forgiveness, stating, "I think if I do something wrong, I just try." Outside of his church affiliations, Trump has relationships with a number of Christian spiritual leaders, including Florida pastor Paul White, who has been described as his closest spiritual confidant. 56 In 2015, he asked for and received a blessing from Greek Orthodox priest Emanuel Lemelson. 57 And, in 2016, released a list of his religious advisors, including James Dobson, Jerry Falwell Jr., Ralph Reed, and others. 58 Referring to his daughter Ivanka's conversion to Judaism before her marriage to Jared Kushner, Trump said in 2015, "I have a Jewish daughter, and I am very honored by that. It wasn't in the plan, but I am very glad it happened." 59 Health. A 2016 medical report by his doctor, Harold Bornstein MD, showed that Trump's blood pressure, liver, and thyroid function were in normal ranges. 60-61 Trump says that he has never smoked cigarettes or consumed other drugs, including marijuana. 62 He also does not drink alcohol, a decision stemming from his brother's death.